Guardian, listen. I've been churning around why we're all here. Our roles. You and Ikora. Draw a line of warmth forward. But Lodi, he speaks and fog leaves his mouth. Focus. Whatever promise was given to Lodi was a half-truth, preying on vulnerability. He calls for direction through red static. I doubt he even knows where his line leads, or what the Nine would do to him. He can't. If I didn't. He can't understand what he'll become. It's an impossible concept. But maybe if he did understand, he'd offer less friction. Maybe he'd be less cagey with us. I have an idea, but I'll need your firepower. Let's remove Lodi's blindfold. Hopefully, it'll be clarifying for us both.
There is a truth buried in Lodi. I brushed it away like sand. When it stands, a tower above him, the choice is no longer a singular one, but fractal. You'll take this little mirage and make reality with density and silica, and your light. Gather it.
Silica. Sounds like we're missing some Vex ingredients to combine with your light.
Through electrostatic fog, we will ask him.
Isn't that a little forward?
Linearity appeals to me right now.
Am I coming through all right?
Lodi, hello. Orin and I had a question for you.
Do you taste the iron as they impart their charge? Is the flavor oxidized or smooth?
You taste iron too? No, oxidized, certainly. I've been noting the changes in alkaline flavor by hour. You absolutely need to tell me more about that.
It is an after effect of your possession. Their voice leaves a taste in your throat. Are you going to tell us why you are here? The choice must be yours, as it was mine.
My organization received a signal and picked up. No one made a deal with anyone.
Not yet.
But I felt a power there, too. If what you're showing me brings me any closer to that connection, well, I have to know more. Lay it on me.
I placed a version of myself behind a window to hide my reflection.
Lead the way.
Focus.
What in the almighty heavens is this?
This is what I wanted to show you. A vessel. An avatar of power who was and is Orin.
You're saying the people you used to work for, they'd do this to me if I let them?
They will offer control over physics, motion through time, power without limit, to magnify you past what this body can muster.
What makes you walk away from that kind of gift?
It's not a gift. It's a trade. The strength you gain and the reasons you use it won't be yours, and you won't care. Your will for power.
But you're you again. You left. You can leave, so why show me this?
This is a kindness, because you should know what you're getting into if the Nine are involved. Accepting anything from them is the quickest way to make sure you won't go home. And I don't know how I left. It may not always be possible.
You're saying I might have to turn this down too. Your trade took everything from you, Orin. But they already took everything from me. I see it though. What you're saying. I see it 200 feet tall staring me down. My God.
Guardian, you have one new code.
Do you see how Lodi is being led? A lick line of lashed scars clotting into a chlorine prod. Do you smell it on him? Feel it in his eyes? Stop. 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 I remember the Nine seek your most vulnerable moment, to give yourself freely. They understand when to ask, and when you'll accept. Do you call that a choice? The Nine don't make the rules. They are the rules. As far as they're concerned, volition does not exist. But I know better. It will hurt, but we should tell Lodi. Give him a clearer choice. An emissary is unlike a light bearer. The power doesn't belong to you. Not a gift, like the Traveler's Light. Nor does it exist within, like the darkness. An emissary is an expression of the Nine's will. You wield only what they give you, and only to the end of their wishes. I won't say that Lodi's in danger, but what the Nine might do through him. Proclaiming tongues, dozens. Twisted spoken excretions from timeless blue and violet plasmatic condensation. But which? Which of the Nine? Is it inner or outer orbits? I need to know. So it's inescapable. Lodi has been set on the path to become an emissary. But I don't know for which one. I'm responsible for putting that in motion. I can taste the tense link between me and him. Acid and capsaicin. Sting and tingling numb. An offering of recreational poison we withstand. That is their ploy. Arm us with knowledge, balanced with the subtle danger of being overridden. It is a straight line, and our changes don't loop into themselves like theirs. I escaped it only to doom him. The Nine are terrible communicators. They don't understand us any more than animals understand the mirage of a photograph's captured depth. They need an emissary. But I found what was at the end of that path, writhing to form language, with no will beyond theirs. Now I know. He will become it. Unless we divert him.
like these around Kepler. Ones that have separated. Usually they're dead. That Vex, the Vex that will be, is important. Let me explain. The Nine understand the Vex as constants. Brass rods on which the fabric of time is stretched and hung.
Vex seem pretty active as far as I've seen them. They keep busy building their spires and shooting people who wander by.
You're talking about motion. I'm talking about knowing where to look for Vex under the rug. No surprises.
So, when you say constant, you mean reliable. The Vex are always this way no matter what. Deleting source of function trace. It wants us to stop whatever's tracing it. Makes sense.
Yes, but the cheese you have found is a new culture. Do you think it could rejoin the collective?
Ya se cuajó esta panela. It must find its own way. Like we thought, these Vex must have locked onto your location to ambush you. What's this message? Oh, Sharp Cheddar is in my feed. It says, codependent variable, faction risks subsiding, plant decoy on destroyed codependent. I get it. Drop the radiolaria sample you took earlier here. Fake Cheddar's death. Could work. Pardon me. Sharp Cheddar.
It's yours to look after now. Will you refrigerate it?
I was sort of thinking the Ionians might look after it. They like learning, and Sharp Cheddar is new. I talked to Dean Rebecca about Sharp Cheddar. it'd be remiss of me not to point out the potential risk. But the Ionians are interested regardless. Dean Rebecca says she has safety protocols in place.
Cheese needs to age before it's anything. It's good. Thank you.
This doesn't seem like just a tactical advantage you want to preserve. Orin, this is important to you, isn't it?
A lake's flat surface reflects an image. I see myself. We both emerged. Do you see?
I think I do.
Guardian, I felt that. You've found a piece of me. Shed. A layer of past choice was molted here.
Orin, what? Was that you? What happened?
I clawed my way free of my own flesh. Peeled back the time scale. It's not the only one. And it smells like memory. There is nothing more familiar than scent.
Orin, would finding more pieces help you?
There's a lash in my eye. Yes, I think it will help me. sore still. I remember those nerves and burning lightning. I did not wish to leave, but it had to be done.
What do you mean you didn't want to leave?
This is sterile. Embalming fluid and rubber. Chalk taste. Ooh. My intent to stay shed in dead anger.
Exiles ahead.
They're picking over her corpse.
I need what they seek. Polluted ribbons and sinew lines to read. I don't mean to be cryptic. This one is mixed with dark matter. I left through a door that was always open, but I didn't leave to be Orin again. I thought I left to bring a message, but there's another reason.
My glimmer says the Nine let you leave knowing it'd fry your brain. What makes you think they want you delivering a message?
One last fragment into the hole. Oh. I can form the silhouettes of memories in my thoughts. Like neon outlines of overlapping events and momentary flashes. Like a downpour of beating rain. It's all out of order. These moments buck against the guide rail of chronology. But if I focus, there is one image. There. The image is clear. Of Gaul, my ghost. Zest and sunny sweetness. I don't know where this was. I just see them facing me. Maybe that's where I start. At the horizon. I'm sorry, Guardian. Give me time to bring this mess into order. As things clarify, I'll share them with you. And thank you.
What in the hell does your ghost have to do with this?
I don't know. But I do remember he didn't like you.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. I'm an acquired taste.
Vex incoming.
Gaul. This isn't him, but an idea imprinted on the silica.
You ditched the Nine over a ghost? These little con artists are almost as bad as your last boss.
Hey, watch it.
He tried to warn me about the Nine and you, Wu Ming. Gaul was kind and good, fresh bred. I told him to go to the city, but he died. He was killed when the light was severed. It was petty. They grabbed the network with careless hands and ripped it from the sky just to free me of my bonds.
Orin, a war resulted from the event you're describing.
They knew I'd send Gaul home. and so they saw our lights snuffed. Such effort. All for one little ghost. The rest to them is causation. Dismissible aftermath.
Yeah, the Nine need water. They divert a river and kill everything downstream. You know it. I know it. I'm sorry they did it to you, too.
Not all of them. Ikora, Guardian. Drifter and I had something to show you, to better varnish your understanding. Kepler is part of the Oort Cloud, a sea cliff of Sol jutting over the abyss of space. If you want to understand what summoned you, you need to understand dark matter. Find a pool of radiolaria. Drifter will explain first.
I familiarized myself with the most recent studies from the tower. Dark matter is well documented.
Sure. In papers.
Peer-reviewed data is our strongest place of knowledge. Though I imagine Orin would have a different angle on the subject.
had my eyes on some of these Vex going haywire. It seems like the dark matter of this place is souring the milk, so to say. Once the stuff gets near Vex milk, the Vex become disconnected from the collective, and then go nuts before they slowly die off.
Becoming disconnected due to dark matter influence implies some part of their biology is aware of its presence.
It is, even when limited to 3 dimensions.
Forgive me for only considering 3.
We are dealing with 2 separate problems connected by the 9. Dark matter, which is what they are, and time, which is what they shift. Dark matter can usually only be experienced, not observed. Think of wind or scent. Invisible, but detectable. Shifts in time, though, are harder to sense. We are drawings on a piece of paper, and without us knowing, that paper is being folded into a crane. We can seek their hands all we want, but we can't fold the paper. It is easy to feel adrift, powerless.
I talked to Dean Rebecca about Sharp Cheddar. It'd be remiss of me not to point out the potential risk. But the Ionians are interested regardless. Dean Rebecca says she has safety protocols in place.
Cheese needs to age before it's anything. It's good. Thank you.
This doesn't seem like just a tactical advantage you want to preserve. Orin, this is important to you, isn't it?
A lake's flat surface reflects an image. I see myself. We both emerged. Do you see?
Guardian, there's a growth in the Ionian settlement that the plant life is responding to. This interaction is arresting.
Cattleya Rex. Beautiful.
We'll have to send additional researchers for further study of the interaction between transdimensional matter and material flora.
Once I can wrangle my proprioception out of the 6th dimension and stop my skin from shifting squares on the periodic table, maybe I'll write you a paper on it.
Dark matter doesn't explain the time-lost artifacts we've seen.
It does, in a way. The Nine exist outside of time. When one intervenes in our dimension, it can cause tears in space-time, pull things through. A hole punch in our paper crane.
You have a talent for explaining complex concepts. Have you thought about how you could share what you've learned?
No. I have not been able to plow through what is next for me.
Knowledge decays if it is not shared, as the Ionians say. What do you miss most, Orin, now that you're not the emissary?
The Nine on the other side of the altar is connected to the Singularity, but they aren't one and the same. I don't see why they would seek to create a black hole, but their goals are different from ours. We have no sway over them.
Can you blame me for wanting to try?
Of course not. We've both been fortunate to learn about the world from the safety of the tower, and to learn about it from underneath our skin.
Then share that knowledge. There's a place and a future for you, Orin. Teach humanity what we cannot learn from study.
A future. I would like that. Guardian, I think I've made a mistake. Lodi and I were talking. Now that conversation reeks of sulfur.
That sounds unpleasant.
I should have noticed it sooner, before the conversation spoiled into argument. But I didn't. I pushed him. He stormed off into the hills. I tracked him to here and set a beacon to signal him, but he hasn't responded. Find him.
Send us his last known heading. We'll find him. Orin, what exactly were you two arguing about?
The past, what might be, and the cliff of what he is becoming. He prefers to look behind instead of what's in front of him. He values service over freedom. I've already made that mistake for him.
He's going through a lot. Maybe we can approach him with a little more tact.
Probably. I've picked up some prickly communication habits from my last job.
Orin, we're here, but I don't see Lodi.
But his scent, lost in time, hanging on brass and polished sand.
Okay. Guardian, I think she means that monument. And next to it, brass and sand must be the time-lost telescope. If Lodi was here, maybe we can get a lead from those.
Orin sent you after me. It's nice to see people get worried when you disappear. I'm not actually going anywhere. I needed to look up at the stars and clear my head, but then the Vex turned up.
Anything we can help with?
Talk this out with me. Orin keeps telling me that I can't go back home. That if I join 3, I'll lose myself. I don't know if I believe that. That who we are before doesn't matter. If it did, 3 could have picked anyone. But it was me.
I understand. Sometimes I feel that way about the Traveler. It has a purpose beyond me. But it chose me. And I chose the Guardian. The choice matters. That it was you matters. Even Orin held on to pieces of herself as an emissary.
That's what the Drifter says. We all got North Stars. Speaking of, you can find the North Star from where you're standing. See it? That's the one. Polaris. You know, my father taught me to fly an old Duster as a boy. I was an aerial surveyor during, well, we often flew at night. Stars were important. My old man, he used to tell me, nations are built by service. Drilled that phrase. Now, I didn't want to kill anyone, but I could help get a clear view of a target, make sure it was the enemy, and help minimize collateral. Then my eyesight didn't hold. I washed out. I thought I had my whole career planned out, and then gone in a haze. I flew longer than I should have, finding my way there and home again by the stars as much as my instruments. I remember being worried the stars never looked the same from the ground, but you orient yourself right, and there they are. Our crew used to joke that we were sighting targets for Orion's next hunt, guiding his arrows to the hearts of evil men. We thought we could make killing fair. I'm not that naive anymore. But as an emissary, I could still put a finger on the scale. A check.
Guardian, someone's on the line.
The position of emissary is not a comfortable one. Hanging between, a mess of secondary colors caught in a minor key. The Nine need emissaries to understand humanity. Their subjective reality is fundamentally different from yours. Lodi is trapped in the present participle, becoming, transforming, beginning to hear the stretch of magnetic fields. Learning to bear the touch of the Nine like acclimating to lightning strikes. The Nine don't understand plain, mauve disgust. How we react to the changes they put an emissary's body through. My choices and the pain they brought me are my own. I'm not Lodi. His pain, his choices, his changes. Gerund again. He is wrestling with them. Have patience with him. Now, and in future.
Scans show this ship is semi-functional. It will need some work, but we could get it home.
It's gorgeous. Always dreamed of flying something like this. Guardian, I had a vision. I don't know what to call it. And not just that, I saw these time scars around the planetoid. I saw people I recognized. They were around a table.
luck on this time, Scar Lodi. Just one way. Are you at the ship?
I used to cruise something like this. My vision gave out. Thought they were going to sack me, but boss realized I had brains, so they sent me to school instead. Service is probably different for you, Guardian. You're a lot older than we were. Life if possible, with evidence if not. Damn it! Back in the DEO, we had guidelines in the event of extraterrestrial abduction. We each carried a coin with the steps just in case. They called it the Odysseus Protocol. Guess I was the first to use it. Didn't work great.
A time scar. Lodi, like this?
Yes, that's it. I'm in the ship you found, just seeing what's in here. I haven't been on Earth in a while. What's it like these days?
The last city is doing well. Almost back to normal now.
The last city? Thanks for checking on that time scar, Guardian. Still goes one way. Someone left a book on the ship. You people not know how to use bookmarks anymore? Damn, no publishing date. Meet me back at the ship. Onwards and upwards.
The things you can learn from one ship alone. Little details, the labels and the readouts, placement of the screens. But I'm a details guy. The bigger picture is usually someone else's bag. Wonder what the higher-ups would make of this. That ship shouldn't take much more to get running. Maybe Mr. Drifter knows for sure. These aren't like the birds we have back home. I can handle one of those, no problem. This is a little more complicated. Anyway. There might be more to do here, but knowing there's someplace to go when it's done helps, right?
That thing that dragged me here, that 9. I don't think it can send me back. The way I see it, I've got 2 options. I can stay here feeling sorry for myself, waiting for the 9 to wear me like a rented tux, or I can come back to Earth with you and figure out what I'm supposed to do with what I've got left. Of course, the place I'm going isn't the Earth I remember. Guardian, do you want to learn the salsa? Play football? Write cursive? Do you want to speak Welsh? I'll name a dozen dead things, and you tell me which one you want to learn. Then you teach me how to fly my spaceship.